Imagine waking up to breaking alerts claiming that one of the most powerful symbols of American military dominance is no longer floating, no longer operational, and no longer untouchable. Reports began circulating just hours ago about a shocking high-intensity encounter at sea, where Russian Su-35 pilots allegedly carried out a devastating strike that ended with a U.S. multi-role aircraft carrier taken out of action. If this scenario sounds impossible, that is exactly why military analysts, strategists, and defense communities around the world are paying attention right now. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear challenges everything we think we know about modern naval warfare and air dominance. Before we go any deeper, if you follow global military power shifts, real combat analysis, and intense storytelling from the front lines of modern conflict, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel grow and ensures you never miss the next breakdown here on Military Conflict Lens. Your support in the first minute truly makes a difference. According to circulating battlefield-style reports and simulated conflict analyses, this incident unfolded in a highly contested maritime zone where tension had already been building for days. A U.S. carrier strike group was reportedly operating under heightened alert, supported by destroyers, cruisers, electronic warfare aircraft, and early warning systems. On paper, this formation represents one of the most protected military assets on Earth. Aircraft carriers are not designed to fight alone. They are floating fortresses surrounded by layers of defense, radar coverage, interceptor jets, and missile shields. Yet modern warfare is no longer just about raw power. It is about timing, deception, electronic disruption, and exploiting the smallest window of vulnerability. Analysts suggest that the Russian Su-35 pilots involved in this scenario were not acting independently, but as part of a coordinated air and electronic warfare operation. The Su-35, often described as a 4.5-generation fighter, is known for extreme maneuverability, powerful radar, long-range missiles, and advanced electronic countermeasures. The alleged engagement began with heavy electronic noise across the battle space. Radar operators reportedly experienced intermittent tracking failures, distorted signals, and delayed data links. In modern combat, confusion is a weapon. Even a few seconds of uncertainty can change everything. During this window, multiple Su-35s are said to have approached at varying altitudes and vectors, forcing the carrier group's defenses to split attention across multiple threats. Carrier-based fighter jets scrambled, but the situation was already evolving faster than expected. Instead of a traditional air-to-air confrontation, the scenario emphasized saturation tactics and standoff engagement. Long-range anti-ship weapons, launched from outside the carrier's immediate air defense bubble, played a central role in this narrative. These weapons are designed to fly low, adapt their trajectory, and overwhelm defensive systems by sheer speed and coordination. As interceptors attempted to engage incoming threats, analysts describe how defensive missiles were expended rapidly. Every carrier group has limits, and once those limits are tested under pressure, decision-making becomes critical. In this scenario, at least one missile is believed to have penetrated the final defensive layer, striking the flight deck region. Even a single hit in the wrong place can cripple launch operations, fuel systems, or command centers. It is important to understand that an aircraft carrier does not need to sink to be considered neutralized. If its flight deck is damaged, its aircraft grounded, and its command systems disrupted, its role in the conflict is effectively over. According to the scenario being discussed, secondary explosions and fires forced emergency damage control procedures, while escort ships moved to shield the carrier from further attacks. From a psychological standpoint, the impact of such an event would be enormous. Aircraft carriers are symbols of deterrence. They project power without firing a shot. The idea that skilled pilots, using precision tactics and modern technology, could disable one challenges decades of strategic thinking. This is exactly why military planners now focus heavily on anti-access and area denial strategies. Russian Su-35 pilots are often trained to operate in contested, high-risk environments where they must rely on coordination, radar discipline, and aggressive maneuvering. In this scenario, their role was not about dogfighting, but about forcing mistakes, exhausting defenses, and creating openings. Warfare today rewards patience as much as aggression. As news of the alleged engagement spread, global reactions would be immediate. Allies would seek clarification, analysts would demand evidence, and defense officials would remain cautious with their statements. In the information age, perception can travel faster than confirmation. Even the suggestion that such a strike is possible can influence budgets, doctrines, and future deployments. Here on Military Conflict Lens, we focus not just on what happens, but on why it matters. This scenario highlights a shift away from the belief that any single platform is invulnerable. Whether it is a carrier, a fighter jet, or a missile system, everything now exists within a web of counters and counter-counters. The battlefield is no longer linear. It is layered, digital, and psychological. For viewers in the United States, this kind of analysis is not about fear, but awareness. Understanding potential vulnerabilities is how militaries adapt and evolve. Every major conflict or near conflict in history has reshaped doctrine. The rise of carrier groups reshaped naval warfare in the 20th century. Their potential challenge reshapes it again in the 21st. As the simulated aftermath unfolds, attention turns to lessons learned. Better electronic protection, wider dispersal of assets, increased reliance on unmanned systems, and deeper integration between air, sea, and space domains are all part of the conversation. No single encounter defines a war, but every encounter leaves a mark on future planning. If you have been watching closely up to this point, you already understand why stories like this hold attention for so long. They combine technology, human decision-making, and high stakes into a single moment where everything can change. That is why retention matters, and that is why we tell these stories in detail here. As we move toward the end of this breakdown, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe aircraft carriers are becoming too vulnerable in modern warfare? Or do you think their adaptability will keep them dominant for decades to come? Drop your opinion in the comments, because discussions like these drive the community forward. If you found this analysis engaging, make sure to share it with anyone interested in military strategy, aviation, or global security. Sharing helps the channel reach new viewers and keeps Military Conflict Lens growing. Like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next deep dive into the evolving reality of modern conflict.